Today I thought it would be really fun to create some characters inspired by the surprises in Kinder eggs. And because the Hoo was kind enough to send me this brand new set of coloring pencils, I also get to try new art supplies. So let's get creative. Here's my first box of Kinder surprise eggs. Here in Ecuador, you can get them in these boxes where you have two or individually. Let me pull the first one out and yeah. This is how they look. Here they have that thing in the back that says it's high on sugar, high on fat, and low on salt. Oh, and they changed the spoon to cardboard. Better. Let's get to the surprise. And here we obviously have a bear. The one on the little brochure looks nicer than this one, which looks freaky to be honest. I struggled a bit to put it together, but here it is, and it has a little stand and it's supposed to rotate when you roll it. Doesn't work great, but we don't need it to work. We just want to use it for inspiration. Now, before getting my sketchbook, let's open the coloring pencils. They have a little brochure on every language: English, Francais, Español. You know the deal. And it comes with a swatching card, and yeah, they look very nice. I love opening a brand new box of art supplies. It's just so satisfying. And as you know, I don't care much for swatching. I'd rather just play. But I grabbed a couple of colors randomly to try them out. So color pencils ready, and here's my sketchbook. This paper is thinner than what I usually use, but perfect for drawing characters. And this is not a new sketchbook, as you can see. I want to share what I used it for before, but since that doesn't fit on today's video, stick to the end so I can explain. I think it might be helpful if you're afraid of creating quote-unquote ugly art. Back to the bear. I started easy, or let's call it safe, because for some reason I was really nervous about this video. So I thought, okay, best thing is not to overthink it and start simple. So I'm just redrawing the bear, but in my style. I'm keeping the shape of its body and the way it's standing. I struggled a little bit with the position of the legs, so I had to go over those a few times. And when I finally had the body, I decided that I would give it a big all head, like I do with all my drawings. So drew the head, made the eyes similar to the ones he has, super round, and instead of a platform, because of the color, I thought it would be nice to have him balancing on a cloud. When I was happy with the drawing, I outlined it with my marker and erased the guidelines. Now, of course, it's time to color it. Grabbed the colors that were more similar to the base, and I started coloring the cloud. For the bear, I had a few options for brown, so I did actually swatch them just to get familiar with the shades and find the one that was most similar to the plastic figure. But that's all the swatching I did for this video because the barrels are so close to the actual color, I didn't feel I needed to. With the whole bear colored, I finished its face with some rosy cheeks and coloring the eyes, and adding a little bit more details with black coloring pencil. Like I said, this was very simple, so I thought it needed a little bit more, so I grabbed these new Ohuhu acrylic glitter paint markers I've never used before, and I went over the clouds just to give it a little something. And that's it. That's the first character. Super simple. So let's see where the second one takes us after that warm-up. Let's call it a warm-up. I'm going to open the second box with the blue ones. Same process. Let's open the surprise side. What is this? No clue. Let's look at the pamphlet. There's this cute weird polar bear and oh, it's a spirograph. Okay. So I put it together and I wonder if it even worked. So let's test it. Grab one of my coloring pencils and tried it. I mean, it does work. It's a little wonky, but honestly, I haven't touched a spirograph since I was about 10, I guess. And I was never really able to make it work anyhow. So no surprise here, I did struggle a little bit with this one. I really had problems rotating the thing, so maybe I should try a spirograph as an adult. Anyhow, I just drew the thing on a random spot on my page and I was thinking, okay, what type of character can I make from this? The first thing I thought about was something with flowers, but that seemed too simple, and then I remember I'm not supposed to be inspired by the flower made with the spirograph, but by the spirograph itself. So the gears had some characters on them, polar bear and walrus, and I just drew a bear, so I'm not gonna do that one again. So here's me drawing my version of a walrus, and here he's going to be very happy holding a balloon that has this flower thing in the middle. Again, I just went for a simple design, just doing a cuter version of a walrus, not changing too much to it. He's just there happily existing, and I drew him holding the balloon and sitting on top of a piece of ice. I started by coloring the balloons because I wanted to try to see if I could make them look a little bit transparent, and like the larger purple balloon had a smaller pink balloon inside of it. I mean, I tried, not very successfully, but it looks okay. Then I thought for the walrus, instead of making it all gray or brown and boring, I would bring some pinks and purples into it. Super subtle, very winterly. And after that, I used an alcohol marker to color a bit of the background to help it stand out. And I actually love this one. He's cute. It's still very simple, but cute, right? I'm feeling better as I move ahead. So let's open the third surprise egg. Okay, so what is this? What is this? What is this? What was that? I had no clue, so I looked at the pamphlet. It had eyes. And yeah, after staring at it blankly, I realized it's just like a best friend necklace thing, but it's so abstract and weird. I guess maybe if you scan it like the instructions suggest, it's going to be more interesting. But I don't feel like scanning toys. I like the simpler toys that didn't need an iPad or an iPhone to be fun, you know? The simpler things. It's like nothing is enough now, but whatever. Back to getting inspired by it, which I did. I thought, okay, maybe these are like two friends hugging. It's super abstract, but maybe I can turn it into something. So I made a super simple stick figure sketch, trying to figure out how the characters would interact. I like that, so decided to use my sketchbook on the side to have more room, and also decided that one of the characters will be strawberry, and the other one will be tangerine because of the colors of the necklace. I still didn't know what animals to draw, so I did generic shapes and just gave one a strawberry hat and the other one a tangerine hat. I went into Pinterest to try to find a cute animal I could use, and when I saw this picture of this quokka, that made me so happy. I just had to go with that. I started to look for more reference on Pinterest, and by the way, I have to agree with this video I watched the other day, which I'm linking in the description. Pinterest is getting a little bit disappointing as a reference source with all the weird AI stuff being posted on there. This animal is so cute, I decided that both friends would be quokkas. I hope that's how you pronounce it. And to do that, I had to adjust my drawing a little bit by making the heads pointier and changing the shape of all the limbs, and of course by adding the tails. The two are not perfect, but I was happy with them. I find that the more I draw an animal, the more I can come up with my style for it, and the more comfortable I am drawing it. And this is just my first time drawing quokkas, so they're good enough. After outlining them, I thought the drawing was so I changed the weight on some of the lines by using my brush tip marker before starting to color. I decided to base this drawing with alcohol markers since my alcohol markers were already on my desk, and then I would just use the color pencils on top. This is my favorite way to color with colored pencils anyhow, so I thought I would do it this way. It's really nice and easy to just layer the color on top of an alcohol marker base, which is regular and smooth. I started by coloring the fruit hats and the little hearts that they are each bringing into the scene. I also used markers to add a base of color to their bodies, and once again I enjoyed adding different colors with my pencils on top, creating more depth and interest. I love how the colored pencil on top gives texture and makes it look more like fur. To finish, I thought I would go around them with a purple alcohol marker just to bring the purple on their bodies out a little more, and finish with some highlights with my Ohuhu acrylic paint marker. And yeah, here's that third illustration. I actually really like these two, and maybe I'll revisit them because they're cute guys and I think they're charming and sweet. Next egg, and we have a little car. Yep, that's a car. You just snap it together. And I thought maybe it would be the type that you pull back and it goes on its own, but apparently no. Kinder Joy is not as joyful as it was when my kids were little. Now the joy comes from scanning the toy and you need an iPad. Bummer. Glad I'm not using these for play, but for inspiration, so what to draw now? I'm really not big on drawing vehicles, and I wasn't feeling like drawing one at all, so I kept playing with it to see if I could come up with something, and then I saw the two little tires look like big, stunned eyes. So I brought out my circle template and I started by drawing those eyes in the middle of my page and just thinking, how could I transform this into a character? To do that, I started by trying different ways to add its mouth or nose, and I thought it looked better with just a tiny smile. Then I thought those weird eyes needed a giant head. So I drew that and then thought, okay, does this thing have a body or do the legs come straight out of the head? Nope, definitely needs a body. And also gave it two droopy arms, which I decided would look amazing if I mirrored them on top, making this a bunny. Drew a background and a half circle to have him standing on a rainbow, and then of course I outlined the drawing, erased the pencil lines, and time to color again. Once more, I'm basing everything with alcohol markers just because I'm too lazy to do big areas with coloring pencils. I did this fast so my alcohol marker layers are uneven, but it doesn't matter because I know I'm going to really take care of the bunny with my colored pencils. I am using the coloring pencils to layer more color as I had lighter parts and shadows. Made the whole face even and looking furry with my white pencil, and then I added rosy cheeks. Made the eyes look deeper and the whole thing more 3D using different shades of gray. Just like a couple of shades, not 50. Let's calm down. Same thing for the eyes. I made them as similar as I could to the tires of the vehicle with my pencils, and I also used them to color a monochromatic rainbow, which actually just looks like a hill. I thought I would cover the outlines with acrylic markers. I am loving these, by the way. It's their first use, but I really like them. I think doing that on top of the eyes really took this illustration to another level, and yeah, look at him. Aw, I love you. I love you. Yes, I love you. You are so cute and weird and adorable. I love it. I'm obsessed with the bunny. It's my Benny Boo Boo. I don't know why I just thought about calling him Benny. I guess I've watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days way too many times and it stuck with me. So this is Benny. Here it is, and here's these beautiful colored pencils again. Thank you, Ohuhu, for sending these to me, and the acrylic markers, and the glitter acrylic markers, and the alcohol markers. Thank you. I love them all. And before I forget, let me show you again quickly what was at the beginning of the sketchbook. It's such a mess. It literally looks like a 5-year-old painted this, but it was actually me on a day where I just needed to put something on a page. I just felt like putting color down, and I wanted to share it with you because I get comments of people saying, "Oh, I make a mess when I watercolor. I don't like the results." Believe me, that is okay. Don't have an artistic practice just for the end result. Sometimes do it for yourself, just to enjoy it and to play. And then maybe you keep playing until something clicks and you create something you like. And maybe something doesn't click. But the important thing here is to take time to be gentle with yourself and enjoy what you're doing just because you want to. Okay, that is the end of my rant today. I hope I'll see you next Friday on my next video. Have the most wonderful day. Bye.